Controlling agents using RPA and CrewAi. Guys, today I'm really excited because I did a spelling mistake. Never mind. So today I'm really excited because in opposing to other videos which I uploaded in the last few days, and I told you that I feel that the agentic frameworks are very exciting and have a lot of potential, but we still lack the ability to control them and use them in real complex or complicated use cases. Today, I figured out a way in which I can actually leverage the agents to help me in a more complicated process, and I'll share it towards the end of the video. But before we dive into this, let me tell you a bit about what is RPA. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. And basically, it means the most simple way to explain this is the robot or the machine or the computer repeats a process. Obviously, it can conduct some logics, but it repeats a process over and over again. So let's say, an example, we want to fill out forms. So we can teach the robot to fill out the form based on data from the Excel file. So let's say we have a form that has like first name, last name, and phone number, and we have an Excel file which has like 10,000 rows that contain first name, last name, and phone number. Instead of filling one by one the form, we can use a robotic process automation tool to fill the form, take the data from the Excel, and then fill the form. The tool that I'm using when I'm doing robotic process automations is called Microsoft Power Automate Dekstop. It is a free tool. It is very, very powerful. I love that tool, and I highly suggest that you guys check it out. I got exposed to this tool about 10 years ago. You probably don't know, or you might know, my wife and I, we started when basically I'm an engineer and she's an architect. And when we both finished our degrees, we started working in a 9 to 5. I started working in a media buying agency in Tel Aviv, in Israel. And she started working as an architect. And after a few months, we realized that we are not going to save any money from our salaries, and we need to start a new online business. So luckily, I met a friend of mine for a beer in Tel Aviv, and he told me that he was doing dropshipping, selling e-commerce products. Until that point in time, I thought that dropshipping was just like a BS at Gurd, or selling in order to sell courses. But since it was a childhood friend of mine, I gave it a go. The morning after, we launched a store, and the same evening, we probably got lucky and we got our first sale. And then we realized we can make money online. Now, back in the days, we didn't have any systems or Shopify apps or plugins that streamlined the process of conducting the order. So what we used to do, we used to list a product from AliExpress on our website. And whenever someone bought from us, we used to go to AliExpress and buy the product and fill out the address, the shipping address, as if it was the customer. Now, in one of the instances, we had like 200 orders to fulfill, and my wife had to go one by one, 200 times, and just copy the name, the last name, the zip code, the phone number, the address, everything, also the size of the product. She had to go one by one and fill out everything. And she was sitting in the lounge on the floor, and she started crying because she used to do this day after day after day. And this time it was the weekend, and it was like 200 orders. So I thought, okay, how can I solve this? And then I got exposed to the RPA tool. It was Microsoft Power Automate. And I realized that I can actually automate this whole process. So I could take the data from the customers and automatically fill out the orders in AliExpress. And I fell in love with this because I realized, okay, I can automate stuff and I can leverage code in order to streamline processes and save time and agony. So this is how I got exposed to Microsoft Power Automate. Just to show you, Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. Again, it is free, so it is really a no-brainer. This is how it looks like on the back end. So you have over here, you have all the actions that you can make. You can create variables, you can define conditionals, so logics in your automations. You can do loops, so you can repeat processes based on different conditions. You can run different code. You can compress file. You can do automations on the front end, on the Chrome browser. It is very powerful. And the great thing about this, you can record your movements, and Power Automate then can repeat your movements. So let's say you want to go to a browser, you go to Amazon, you want to click on a product, then you want to scroll down till the bottom, then you want to scrape the reviews and fill them in the Excel. You can use this recording tool, and it's going to record what you're doing, and then it can repeat this on a daily basis or however you like. So this is why it's very powerful. I'm using Power Automate very often in most of my automation. So I've built a Facebook prospecting tool in which I scrape profile descriptions of profiles. Then I go to their profile, I like the recent post, I send them a friend request, and then I send them a message, and this is completely automated. I also add a delay between each repetition because I don't want Facebook to flag me and realize that this is being done by a bot. So this is one example. A different example is back in the days I wanted to automate outreach to podcast hosts, and I didn't want to do this manually. So I went to a podcast directory which had about 1,000 podcast hosts, and each one of them had like a description of what their podcast is about. So what I did, I scraped all the URLs of each show and each host. I added all of them to an Excel file, and then I created a loop that looped through each of these podcast pages. It scraped the podcast description. It took this description. It added a prompt to ChatGPT that wrote, write for me a personalized outreach to this podcast host based on the following description. And I used the ChatGPT, the OpenAI API, in order to send like this prompt. And it returned to me a personalized outreach that was tailored to the host based on the details that he provided about his show. I pushed everything into an Excel file, and from this Excel file, I made sure to I automated also the outreach message to the podcast host. So basically I did like in 1 hour of automation, I sent out 1,000 personalized outreach to podcast hosts, and I landed, I think, about like 13 speaking gigs using this automation. So this is just another example. Now, let's go back to agents. So we covered what is RPA, and we covered what is Power Automate Desktop. The possibilities are endless in Power Automate Desktop. If you would like me to create more videos about Power Automate Desktop, let me know. I've uploaded a few videos to my YouTube channel about Power Automate Desktop, and basically I got crickets. Nobody seemed to enjoy these videos. So I'm curious if it's because this is not sexy because we are not talking about agents, or if it's because you, the viewers, have the notion that it is a complicated tool, or I don't know, but I would like your feedback about this. If you're interested in learning more about Microsoft Power Automate and RPA, let me know. But what we did today is, as I said in the past few days, I wanted to add some control to the agents, because basically when we are using agents at the moment, it's very cool, it's very neat, but we're lacking control and we're lacking the ability to scale the operation. So, kind of similar to the use case that I told you about of reaching out to podcast hosts, I just wanted to test a simple use case in which I leverage CrewAi. By the way, this can also be done with Autogen, but today it's CrewAi. Leveraging CrewAi in a scalable and more complex task. So what I did, I created this Excel file. Let me remove this because this is the end result. Okay, so this Excel file consists of prospects. Let's say these are prospects that I found on Facebook, and let's assume that I already scraped them, which is very simple to do. You can do this either by Microsoft Power Automate or using this Chrome extension, which is called Instant Data Scraper. This is an amazing extension. So let's say we have these prospects and we have the bios that they provided in their Facebook profile. So let me show you an example. Let's go to a random guy. So let's go to this guy. So we go to his profile. This is his name and this is his intro, and we can scrape his intro. So let's assume these are all made up, but let's assume that I scrape these intros and I have 3 different intros. So one intro is, I'm the master of marketing arts, conductor of creativity, and wizard of wow moments. I transform mundane into magnificent and ordinary into extraordinary. In the world of marketing, I'm the one who adds the sparkle to the strategy and the pizzazz to the plan. My magic wand, a keyboard. My spells, killer campaigns. So this is his bio. The second bio is digital dynamo at your service. I eat algorithms for breakfast and I churn out viral content before my lunch. My middle name, grows. My name, my game, making your brand talk to the town. From obscure to omnipresent, I'm the marketing maestro who knows just how to make the digital world dance to your tune. By the way, I generated all of these for the video using ChatGPT. Now, so I have this Excel file and I want my crew to generate a personalized outreach to them. So in opposing to what I told you about in the use case that I used outreach for the podcast, I just used ChatGPT with one prompt. Now I want to use the whole crew of agents to discuss between them about what would be the best outreach to this prospect based on the description. So basically I need to adjust the CrewAi script and add a variable that will allow me to push a prompt and the dynamic variable, which is the specific prospect description. And this is exactly what I did. So obviously I built over here. This is a pretty simple CrewAi, and as you can see, CrewAi for Power Automate Desktop. And I added over here this import system and this line, which basically allows me to add a variable, an external variable into the code. So here I am defining the agents. In this case, I only use 2 agents. Copywriter agent, his goal is to help with coming up with copywriting ideas for cold email outreach. He specializes in ice-breaking one-liners for grabbing attention. His backstory, he is an experience in copywriting cold email, funny and witty. And I also created another agent, which is the direct-to-consumer agent, direct-to-consumer CMO. Let me take a sip of water. He helps the copywriter by providing feedback and ideas about his copywriting. And his backstory, he is a CMO who is trying to improve his marketing results. Now, the task description is my variable. My variable is basically the prompt, or it's going to be something that I'm pushing via Microsoft Power Automate. It's a dynamic variable. Then we have the outreach crew, which consists of the copywriter and the direct-to-consumer CMO, and we have the outreach task, which again is going to be assigned dynamically. And then we have the crew execution. Now, if I would have ran this script of the Python and hard-coded the task, it would have returned the output, which is the final result, which is pretty straightforward. Now, in my instance, because I want to do this on many different rows, on many different prospects, I'm using Microsoft Power Automate. So let me show you what I did over here. So CrewAi. Basically, I'm launching the Excel file. This is automated. And then we are starting a loop. We are looping through rows 2 to 4. And we are doing the following. So we assign the variable, my variable, and this is the prompt. Write a cold outreach icebreaker based on this bio. Make sure to not to add any explanations, just return the icebreaker. Here's the bio, prospect bio. Now, the prospect bio, this is something that I'm reading using Microsoft Power Automate. So Microsoft Power Automate, basically what it does, we open the Excel, we loop through rows 2 to 4 in the Excel. The first thing that we do in the loop is we read the content of the cell in column number 2 and the loop index. So the loop index, it goes from 2 to 4. So in this case, the first iteration is going to read this, because you see cell column 2, column B, and cell number 2 and row number 2. So it's going to take this and it's going to produce a variable called prospect bio. And then prospect bio is passed here as the bio. Sorry. The next step is we run this script, and we run this Python script that I showed you before in Microsoft Visual Studio Code, and we are passing my variable, which is basically this prompt with this variable filled out taken from here. Afterwards, we get the output from the crew actually, and the output isn't going to be clean because we are going to get the whole discussion. So what I did over here is I'm just parsing, I'm cropping all the text that is returned to me after task output. So CrewAi is conducting the conversation, the agents are discussing between themselves. At the end, we are going to have a string that consists of task output and then the bottom line. And the bottom line is going to produce personalized output. This is the variable produced. And then we are going to write the personalized output in the Excel file in column C. So again, we took the data from Facebook, from the profiles, we added them to the Excel. We adjusted the CrewAi code in Visual Studio Code so it will receive a dynamic variable instead of hard coding the prompt, which is the task over here. So we don't hard code the task, we just push the task over here, and every time we write the task based on the prospect bio. So we launch the Excel, we loop through all the rows, and then we are getting, using Microsoft Power Automate, we are getting the response over here. Now, let me show you. I'm wondering, should I show you how it runs? Because it's not so sexy. Okay, let me just show you an example. I'll walk you through just once, so you'll see how it goes. So let's close this Excel. Yeah, we won't save this, so we will lose the output, and then it might it might fail. I'm taking the risk of it failing, but I believe it will work fine. I added breakpoints over here. Breakpoints allow me to see what's going on in the automation, and just a debugging tool. Basically, I can see what's going on in the automation, and it doesn't just go crazy. I can step by step see what's going on, and then if I spot an error or something that is missing, I can adjust the code more easily. So basically a debugging tool. So let's get started. We hit the run button. The Excel is supposed to be launched. I'm assuming it will. Okay, so it was launched, and as you can see over here, the personalized outreach column is empty. C2 is empty, C3 is empty, and C4 is empty. Now, all the variables are empty as well. The next step is reading from the Excel spreadsheet. We are going to get the prospect bio. So prospect bio, as you can see, master of marketing, basically the content of cell B2. Now we are setting the variable, and the variable is set. We call it my variable, and this is the prompt we are going to push to CrewAi. So write a cold outreach icebreaker based on this bio. Make sure not to add any explanations, just return the icebreakers. Here's the bio. Master of the marketing art, conductor of creativity, etc. What it does now, it is running the Python script, actually running the crew, creating the whole thing with the crew, and they are discussing between themselves. In a moment, we will see the whole output. We will see it over here, command output. So here's the command output. So crew, as you know, once the CrewAi starts working, so they are saying, they give like what they are starting to do. So working on coming up with personalized outreach ideas. Working agent, direct to consumer CMO. So this is the task. It is entering the chain, and here is the final answer. And as you can see here is the task output. This is actually what we want. And we can see, hey there, master of the marketing arts. I'm reaching out because I heard you're a wizard who can turn my ordinary plans into campaigns that sparkles. Can you help me add some pizzas? So this is the outreach, the personalized outreach that the crew is suggesting. Now we are cropping the text, and we are writing the text into the Excel. This was the first loop, and yes, we can see over here C2, and we can see the outreach. Now let's remove the breaking points, and let's let it run for the 2 more rows. And the reason why I'm so excited about this, because first of all, we can add 10,000 more prospects over here. And basically, if we set up the crew or the Autogen group chat correctly, we can have the agents create way more value for us, because this allows us to do stuff in a scalable manner. And this whole part of actually conducting like the automation, providing the structure for the automation, is what is lacking at the moment with all the tools. I mean, in my opinion, with all the agentic frameworks. So all the agentic frameworks, based on what I'm feeling at the moment, they can provide very good, I wouldn't say even very good, they can provide good text, and they can provide good ideas and good code, but they are unable to conduct automations which have many moving parts in the equation. And this is why we need an RPA tool to stitch between the variables in the equation. And we just use the agents or the agentic framework, Autogen or CrewAi. We just harness the powers that it provides, which at the moment, as I said, I consider it good at text, somewhat good at creating processes and logics, and pretty good at creating, sometimes it's pretty good with creating code. And let's see now what it returned. Yes, so as we can see here, we have another outreach. Hey there, Digital Dynamo. I've heard you can eat algorithm from breakfast, but have you tried data pancakes? They are my specialty. Not so funny, but this is just the prompt that I gave the copywriter. And the next one is, hello, strategy sourcer. I've heard you can turn a handful of data into a destiny. I'm intrigued. Can you tell me more about your latest spell binding campaigns? Now let's remove this for a second and just change the copywriter prompt. Help the copywriter by providing feedback and ideas about it. This is the direct to consumer CMO prompt. Let's do like this. Agent. Help is coming up as for specialized. See. Let's see if we change this data and serious. What will be the results? Okay, so we changed the CrewAi script. Now we are going to run this again and see what happens. The same prompt on the backend. I mean, on the backend, I'm referring to the RPA tool, Microsoft Power Automate, but we changed the agents prompt. It opened the Excel. Now it is pulling the prospect description for each one of the prospects, and it's going to fill out column C, which is the personalized outreach. As you can see, I'm not holding anything. This is the automation is just running, and it's filling the Excel. Let's see the response. Hello there, master of marketing arts. I've heard about your magical ability to transform ordinary. It didn't significantly change, in my opinion. So probably we need to change the prompt in a more significant manner. Let's change the prompt over here. Make sure not to add any explanation, just return the icebreaker. No, let's try to adjust over here. A CMO is trying. Help the copywriter of any material, yeah. Let's see what happens now. We close the Excel. And this is the last iteration because the point of the video of this video is clear. And I just want to see what happens now, but it's not so crucial, to be honest. Let's start summarizing. So today was a very exciting day, in my opinion, at least for me, because I was able to connect between the RPA tool Microsoft Power Automate and the Agentic Frameworks. And this will allow us to build more complex automations and allow us to control automations or processes in a better manner while leveraging Agentic Frameworks. Yes, I'm pretty happy about this definition. Anyway, I'm curious to hear your feedback about the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you have any questions, obviously leave them in the comment section below. I'm happy to hear any feedback. It's not interesting anymore, the output, but we can adjust the prompts and we'll get better results. Anyway, I'm happy to hear. I'm curious to hear your feedback about, first of all, does Power Automate and robotic process automation seems to you like something interesting that you would like me to cover more? Did you like the way that I structured the video and the pace and my explanations? Was it detailed enough, not detailed enough, boring, whatever? Just let me know. I'm always happy to hear feedback. And what are your thoughts regarding how we can utilize RPA in conjunction or combined with agentic frameworks? Again, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And obviously, we can't move on, we can't close the video without the slogan. Until next time, keep on automating.